click on a show, then pause. Same old script, same flaws. What if the roof came off? What if the crowd got lost in a fight that felt like a fight, in a stare down burning bright?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the DWF, and we are still going through the men's basics figures. Just so you guys know, we are currently at 333 figures. Going through this collection, I'm trying to count and document all the figures that I have just to have a running number. So we are at 333 figures, and that's just looking at our boxed figures, our odds and ends figures, our women's basic figures, and about half of our men's basic figures. We still have Elites, Ultimates, and the Jazzwares line of AEW to go. So if anyone guesses the exact number of figures that I have, I might just do a giveaway. Alright guys, so we're going to start this video off with the biggest man in the lineup. Oh, wait, it's two. Oh, I'm sorry. Here he looked like the tallest man out of the group, so we've got Hornswoggles. I don't know if these are actually basics or elites, but there's no ab crunch to the figure, so I put them in the basic lineup. You know, that's just how we're doing it. We're going to try and move this one along a little quicker, just to not have another like 30-some minute episode. Here's a... Oh, he doesn't talk anymore. That was one of the talking figures of Seth Rollins. Robert Roode, glorious Robert Roode. Here's a John Cena. We still have the big old belts on them. Remember the belts from back in the day from Jakks? You guys remember those? Anyone, or is that, maybe that's just me? Here's a Adam Rose. This is the better of the Adam Rose figures, but the Adam Rose that we saw in the previous video is the one that I think was in the 2-pack. Here's a Jack Swagger slimmed down, and then you look at the very next figure, there he's jacked up. Now he's We the People Jack Swagger. I think this is the one that came with Zeb, if I'm not mistaken, and now he's just jacked up and beefy boy. Here we've got the Road Warriors. Slap them down right there. Here's a Kofi. I think I said this in another video, but Kofi Kingston in blue gear is just peak Kofi Kingston, at least in my opinion. I think he rocks blue gear really, really well. Here's a very basic RVD, just rocking the red singlet there. Here we have a John Morrison, which I like the pants. They're pretty cool. Here is a Chad Gable from back in the day with Jason Jordan. I think in the last video I couldn't remember who his partner was. It's Jason Jordan is who I meant to say. Here's my very first Kane, and his arms just look really long to me now. I don't think anyone's arms extend down to like their knees just about, so this figure just looks proportionally off. But I remember when I first got this, like, this was intimidating. Look at how scary this figure is. If I can just focus in here on the head and on the mask. Come on now. Look at how, this is just a scary figure. It looks like his eyes follow you. You see that? When I was a kid, this was a very scary figure. So anywhere I went in my room, this figure just watched me. You guys see that? Like, the eyes follow you in this figure. It is a scary figure. Moving right along, we've got a Bray Wyatt, where the eyes don't follow you. They're just eyes painted on there or stickered on there. Here is a... Is this Cade Murdoch or Trevor Murdoch? Trevor Murdoch, I think. Trevor, is that right? Cade Murdoch? Trevor Murdoch? Something. One of those sounds right. There's one of them, I'm pretty sure. Here's an Umaga. Fun character. Here is a Batista. This was actually one of the... Oh gosh, this was a Joaquin Wilde or a Cruz del Toro. But we threw Batista head on there just to give Batista a suit. Looks really good, I think. There's a John Cena for you. A nice, good Cena figure. Here's a Dean Ambrose that we cut the center of an open. His vest, sorry, we cut that open, gave him the nightstick. Looks like a little more like a cop. Here we've got Crime Time. This is the only versions of Crime Time I have. I don't have the Elite versions. I really, really, really want to get them, but they're so expensive. I can't afford them. It's like $200, I think, for the pair. Here we have Spirit Squad, or at least most. I don't remember. Was there only 4 members, or was there like 5 or 6? I don't remember how many members of Spirit Squad there were. But here we have them. Here's the first one. Oh, here, Johnny. That makes it easy. There's Johnny. There's... What's this, a Mitch? Here's... I think that one's Dolph Ziggler. I think. Mikey? No, maybe that wasn't. That one's Dolph Ziggler. Look at that face. That's Dolph Ziggler. Oh, the one that's not labeled. Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Dolph Ziggler. If you look at the head, it looks the most like Dolph, I think. Or that one. I don't know which. I have no idea who this is. I honestly have no idea who this is. There's somebody for you. There's an AJ Styles. Also doesn't talk, but he's one of the talking ones. Here's my very first Rock figure. I don't know if anyone has had this from back in the day. This is the very first Rock action figure I owned. Probably my 4th or 5th WWE figure I ever got. Here is a fun Bray Wyatt. Next we've got this Scott Steiner from Jax. It's just a Jax Steiner. Here's our one and only Tyson Kidd. I should make an ultimate, or not an ultimate, an elite of Tyson Kidd. I think that's probably pretty doable. I don't have to do too much. The head's easy to work with. Just pop it off. Get an elite that I can fix up for him. Here is a Miz. He doesn't talk either. Cool. Here is a... Oh, here's a suited Batista. This is the Jax version of a suited Batista, and then we have our updated Mattel version that we made of the suited Batista. Here we've got a Finn that also doesn't talk, but really cool paint. Love the paint on it. Here's another Finn. This was like the Fan Central Finn, and I think it gave you like armbands and a mask or something, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Here's ECW's one and only Tommy Dreamer. This is the man. This is the hardcore man to me, at least. Tommy Dreamer is the GOAT. Got to meet him in Philly one time. That was really cool. Here's a Mick Foley. It looks like his shirt is ripped, or it's supposed to be tucked in. Supposed to look like it's tucked in the back and then hanging out in the front. He's also got the knee pads on the sweatpants. That's pretty epic. Here we have a Triple H slapped on. I don't know whose body this is slapped on. Priceless. I have no idea whose body this is slapped on, but he's got a sword. He's ready for battle. I told you guys previously that there's a mega battle. Here's our veteran guy. We made this as our jobber. Just slapped him on a Seth Rollins body just to make a jobber character. But I told you guys about that mega battle that I wanted to do. There's a lot of figures, a lot of basics, a heck of a lot of elites. No, I forgot. This is the no phase. Daniel Bryan, I like that one. The Judgment Day Truth, just, oh man, that's epic too. Here's an Undertaker that we gave him a little bit of war paint. I had so much of this Undertaker as a kid. Like, I had a ton of them, so I just took a Sharpie. And honestly, I think this is the only one of this Undertaker I have left, is the one that I freaking doodled up. But anyway, guys, I told you about that battle and stuff. So a lot of guys have the weapons in hands and things like that. So you'll be seeing a lot of that. Here's a Dom on an AJ body. Here is a Andre mask on a Braun Strowman body. Just kind of cool. Here is a Rikishi with a battle staff of some sort. We've got Psychosis. Anyone remember Psychosis? This guy was certainly a character. He's got a gun. Here we've got Team Dudley Boys 3D, and they have guns too for this epic battle coming up. We've got Drake Maverick. This is a man on a mission. He's just an army man. He's got his gun there. He's got a couple grenades on his back. He just looks like a generic army guy here, so it was perfect for that. Here's an Evan Bourne. I'm pretty sure that's Evan Bourne, right? He's got a big battle staff too, or a spear or something here. I'm pretty sure it's Evan Bourne. Yeah, it looks like Evan Bourne. Here is an Undertaker who's got his staff. He looks like he's gonna like... Oh wow, look at that jacket. Ministry of Darkness. This is a good Undertaker. I like this Undertaker. Maybe he's not going to get blasted away in the battle. Here we've got a Damian Priest in a cloak with his giant spear. I found a whole bunch of honestly, I think it was these skewers. I found a pack of skewers at like Home Goods or something, and I was like, oh, they look like spears. Like, I could have a bunch of wrestling guys get together and fight. And it's little things like that that I see when I'm out in public. This is actually an elite, so I don't know why he's in here. He's got to be saved for another video. So forget that Rusev. Just forget you saw him. Here's a Triple H. This is one of those signature series ones where, if I can move this staff out of the way, you can see like it's the signature series figure, but the ponytail's ripped off, so it really doesn't matter. Not that these signature series figures weren't really much of anything anyway. Here's a Daniel Bryan. But that's the way my brain works, guys. Like, I see something stupid out in public, and I'm just like, oh, hey, cool. Like this Dolph Ziggler with this vest from something and this like spear thing. Like, cool, that's part of the fight. Here's Dominic Dojovac, I think, is who it is, T-Bar, with a spear. So like he's in. Here's, I had so many of this Goldberg. So we painted this guy up. We gave him like we gave him cat eyes and like a saber tooth face paint. So he's ready for war, and he's got this sword. And we can, it's just the squeeze leg. It's not the squeeze leg one. This is the other one where he just chop. He do chops. This guy's got his sword in hand, ready to fight. This is, wait, reality, is this supposed to be, no, this is supposed to be Roddy Piper? I have no idea. That's horrific. Here we've got a Neville, or Pac, but he was Neville back then, so there's Neville. Here's a Brock Lesnar with an axe. I mean, that's just, Brock Lesnar with a battle axe is just a cool look. Should I do this epic fight? Should I do that? Here's my Elias. This is the Elias that I made, where I took Ezekiel. I took an Elias and I just worked down and tried to sculpt a chin on him, and make the lips more predominant. But that's my Ezekiel attempt, and I think I threw him on a Drew McIntyre body. Yep, I threw him on a Drew McIntyre body. I didn't have another Elias, but I think in the previous video is when I saw one it looks like someone else tried to make. Here's the Drew McIntyre head, and it's slapped on an Eric Rowan body. And we used the Eric Rowan head from this to make our Mr. McMahon, which I think was in another video. But here's King Drew with his mighty sword and looks like a Thor hammer. Here is, I'm pretty sure this was a wrestling figure that I got at GameStop, but I can't remember who it is. It's not El Vikingo, so I don't remember who it is. And then last but not least, we've got a Seth Rollins here, equipped with backpack. He's ready for this thing to turn into like an overnight, and he can go camping. No, I don't know. I saw a backpack accessory and was like, hey, slap it on him. Why not? But yeah, don't let my brain go to a Home Goods, because I'll find a pack of skewers for like food and be like, oh, those could be weapons for wrestlers. Thinking I can do a mega fight with them. But that's what this is all geared up for. So if you guys are wondering, like, what the heck? Why are they stupid? Why do they got all them stupid weapons? Like, nope, sorry, that's sorry, John. It's just where my stupid head was at the time, and nothing ever happened of it. This was one of the many pick fed things I was working on, and then I gave up on because it wasn't working the way I wanted. Due to I didn't have enough space, and I didn't really have an idea beyond like, let's give them a bunch of weapons and have them fight. And I even bought like some fake blood pouches to but I don't know if that's going to ruin a character or stain a character, so I never tried them. So maybe I'll get back into it. Maybe I'll try that more when I'm more comfortable with doing pick feds, or maybe I'll just do like a scene setup where I have this whole big epic battle set up and I can do a scene and film that for you guys. But let me know in the comments, is that something you want to see, or should I just scrap that completely? Let me know. Every video is going to have like characters with weapons. It's just going to. I know it will. So I've got so many of them that were set up ready for this, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. So let me know if that's something you guys want to see. Moving on to the next round. All right, guys, let's cruise through these. We've got the last 80-some basics here, and we are done the basics. First, we're going to start off with this one. It is a donation from none other than Mr. Matt Mann. This is a Shawn Michaels with his Hulk Hogan feud, where he is dressed up to impersonate the Hulkster. One of the funniest figures I have. I didn't know Jakks got too much into these the way that I know Mattel did. Like every time someone impersonated someone, they did a figure for it, but I didn't know Jakks did it. So this was just a really cool treasure to have. Thank you, Mr. Matt Mann, for this. Moving right along, we have another one of this. We've got this Matt Hardy. This one looks a little better than the other one. This one, I think, is relatively in good condition with everything here. The paint on the pants looking really awesome. Both elbow pads on that one. Here we've got the John Cena Never Give Up Cena. Just a good John Cena basic. Here we have my very first Hulk Hogan, or I guess I should say Hollywood Hogan. This is my very first Hogan figure that I ever got. This was a WCW one. It's got the wind-up gear here that I don't think works anymore, but basically his arms, you wind it up and his arms move in and out, so he's like punching you, or he's flexing, or whatever. But just a cool Hogan. I love the blue flames on the boots. I think I love that look. So, you know, I loved Hollywood Hogan. That was my favorite version of Hogan because that's the Hogan that I got to see. Here we've got a Shawn Michaels, just a generic Jakks basic of Shawn. Here is a Macho Man. This is a Mattel basic. Just not used to the Macho Man without the headband and without the eyeglasses. But I do love the black and white gear. My favorite version of Macho Man was when he had the black and white gears. I liked when he was with NWO, rocking the black and white. Here is a Booker T, King Booker. Got the hand up there for him. Guys, remember when I said Kofi Kingston in blue just hits different? This blue, pink, and yellow is just beautiful. This is one of the cleanest Kofi basics I think I own. I love the colors, love the gear. It's just, there's something different when Kofi's rocking that blue. Not to say that this is bad. I just don't like this as much. You know, now this is a more updated Kofi at the time where he's got more tattoos and stuff. And the black and white and green it's good. I still like it, but I just think the blue is something special. There's something special about the blue. Imagine if instead of the green and the white, just imagine if you could, that blue and pink one here. Oh my gosh, that next level. I would tell you that would be next level. Here we've got an R-Truth basic, just you know, good old Truth. Let him tell you. Let him tell you what it is. Here we have the basic Andrade with the mask on. He has the removable mask. This came in a 2-pack with Zelina Vega. And that was the only way to get Andrade or Zelina at the time. So we picked up a couple of those. We've got a Rey Mysterio here. A nice Rey Mysterio in the blue. I don't know. Rey in blue isn't as fun. When I think Rey, I think red. Is that just me? Maybe it's just me. Here's an Evan Bourne. This is the best version that I have. I have another one in the back. You can see in there in the red, but his tie's ripped off and everything. So if I want a vampire, this is who I'm going to first. Next, we have a basic Triple H, the Game, but bald. This is Bald Game. There he is, just bald man Triple H. Next up, we've got a John Cena that I'm pretty sure was a Vince, I think, and I slapped a Cena head on him. I'm almost positive that's what I did, because I know this Cena head does not go to this figure. That wouldn't make a hill of beans of sense. Here we've got a John Morrison, who has seen better days. This is a very beat up, faded figure, but I think I wanted something off of it, so I picked it up for a couple bucks to grab some accessory or something off of it. Here is a Seth Rollins in his gold gear, gold attire, just a really cool looking Seth. And next we have your favorite, The Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, who then went to AEW and became FTR, because F the Revival, you know what I'm saying? But still, I was able to get those figures because that was the only Mattel figures I was able to get of them. Here's the Honky Tonk Man. Very honky, very tonky. I don't know where I'm going with that. Here's Bo Dallas. This is from when he was part of the B Team. And I think Curtis Axel is out here. Here he is. Let's grab him. We've got Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I think this is their B Team figures when they were the bodyguards for The Miz. So Curtis Axel in his finest, and Bo Dallas in his finest as well. Next up, we have a Seth Rollins that we head swapped it to get a man bun Seth Rollins head on there because I wanted to use the other head for something else. Here's a Kofi Kingston. This is the same Kofi that came with the Rey, Batman Rey Mysterio. Here's another Psychosis, I believe is who that is. Is this also Psychosis? I'm pretty sure. Or, sorry, this is Super Crazy. This is Super Crazy. Yeah, Psychosis. The Psychosis I have is wearing like the red jumpsuit. This is Super Crazy. Oh, there he is. Yep. Got them both. Here we've got a CM Punk in the pink trunks, pink boots. Looking as good as a CM Punk could back from this era. At least this Punk looks more like Punk. The one that I have that I really like the gear, I gotta head swap that, man. I gotta head swap that. Here's a Mark Henry, a nice World's Strongest Man. Mark Henry, back in the day, he was the World's Strongest Man and made for a heck of a wrestler. You guys remember when WWE thought that Sin Cara was going to be the next big thing? Like, they pushed the crap out of Sin Cara to the point that I even remember they did a Scooby-Doo like movie that included, it was like based around Sin Cara. He was one of the main prominent characters because they thought like this guy is going to be the next big superstar, and they really just pushed Sin Cara through the roof. Here is The Miz. Let's be Miz. This was such an awesome logo. I think this is awesome. Maybe this is the inspiration for the Demon, for Demon Finn, but I loved that logo. I loved the Miz's like angry face logo. Here's a dragon, Ricky Steamboat Dragon. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. What did I say? I said it backwards. Here's another Triple H, just the game being the game, the best he can be. Here's Seth Rollins in his really sick red gear. Like this, Seth Rollins in red. I feel the same way about Seth Rollins in red as I do about Kofi Kingston in blue. Like there are certain characters that they're meant for a color. For example, this is probably, hands down, might be my favorite Finn Balor basic. I love this basic. It gives me like his Venom New Japan vibes. It definitely screams that like New Japan look. And I think this basic came with a NXT ring, I think is how you got this basic. Because I remember the ring as well. For whenever when I see him, I remember that ring. Here's the Edge. This is like the Edge. Here is Edge. This was one of like my first figures that I remember picking out on my own. And just loved this figure. Moving right along, we've got Sheamus. Nope, he doesn't speak. His voice box needs batteries as well. There's a talking Sheamus. Here's my newest basic. This is the Cactus Jack that went with the 2-pack with Cactus Jack and Chelsea Green. I just picked this up last week or the week before. But I really like this Cactus Jack. I like that they gave him like the ponytail back here. If you guys can see the texture there, they did the ponytail back over top of his hair. Here is one that I'm going to make an Elite for. This is the Dashing Cody Rhodes. That's right, Dashing Cody Rhodes. I know he wants to forget about this era, but let's not let it die. Dashing Cody Rhodes. So, and this is the old logo before he changed it over to the crown skulled American flag. The old Cody Rhodes logo. Here's a Mark Henry that we slapped a t-shirt on. This is one of my early t-shirts. I was trying to make t-shirts for the bigger characters. So that's one of the first t-shirts I made. Here is my very first Macho Man. Along the line of the same series, I'm pretty sure this one has a twist back thing up here too. Or it's a squeeze leg. Okay, this is a squeeze leg one. Much like the Goldberg that we looked at earlier. This one, I think he came with a chair, and when you squeeze his legs, like you're supposed to, have his arms up here, and when you squeeze his legs, like he slams the chair down on somebody. So that's but it looks like he's just humping. He's just humping the air. Sorry about that, guys. Here we got a Dean Ambrose. Let's see if he talks for us.
Welcome to the Ambrose Asylum.
Okay, yeah, so Dean still talks.
Just how crazy are you willing to get?
Yep, Dean's batteries still work. He still talks. Good Dean. We love you for that, Dean. Here we've got a Dolph Ziggler basic, just another fun basic of Dolph. Moving right along, we have a Vince McMahon from way back. Here's a WWF microphone holding Vince McMahon. The pin-striped suit, still mostly intact. You know, there's a little bit of rub wear and stuff like that, but I'm trying to keep him in as good of condition as I possibly can since I've acquired him. Here's a Big Show, the biggest Big Show I own, so obviously my favorite Big Show. I do have a second one of these. I just couldn't find him for this video, but I do have a second one where this is, his shoulder strap is like completely rubbed off the front and the back. The person who had it before me just used and abused a little bit. Here's another Sin Cara for you guys. Taking a look at another Sin Cara. Maybe I'll do a Sin Cara fix-up, try and make an ultimate. Or I'm sorry, I keep saying ultimate, an elite, because I don't know if I have an elite Sin Cara or not. Here's a Sting from back in the day, WCW Sting with the twist knob, because his hand would like hit people with the bat. Here we've got Certified G, Big Cass. He does not talk either, button broken, or sorry, battery's dead on him. Here's our jobber that we made. He was the one-armed paraplegic guy. He was in, I think he's been in a couple videos now. Mostly, like early on when I did like the actual crowd and stuff, he was in that a couple times. I think he was in one of our scene setup where we did like the picnic or Christmas or something like that. I think he was in that one. Here's a Daniel Bryan, just for fun. A Seth Rollins, which someone did tell me they made an elite version of this, Seth, because I love this gear. Someone told me that they did make an elite version of this. I just haven't gotten around to getting it yet. Here's another donation from Mr. Matt Mann. This is another suited Batista with the pink top and the pink tie. He kept this in really, really great condition. All the pinstripes on this suit are immaculate. So again, we're going to keep this in nice condition as well. I'm going to set it to the side. Here we've got a DDP, baby. He's doing his thing. Here we have MVP back when I just thought he looked like a Power Ranger. This is when, oh gosh, this was during the era. The Punk was straight out of ECW. Long-haired, snakebite ear or lip ring Punk, basically tattoo-less Punk, straight out of ECW, was the era of this MVP, if anyone is not familiar. Here's the Kane that I like, but I'm not, not my favorite era of Kane. This is Corporate Kane. He had really, really good legs for a basic. They gave him the twisted thighs. He's got the kick open legs up top, the butterflied knees. Like really, really good legs for a basic. So I don't know if this was someone made this or altered it or whatever to, make this Kane. But regardless, this is a great Kane for a basic. So very, very happy with that. And here is Macho Man. This is every man's Macho Man. This is the one that I'm pretty sure this is the one that came with the, like the ring gliders. Where they had like the entrance ramp things that you pushed along, and it was Macho Man, and I think the other one was Andre the Giant, if I'm not mistaken. I think they both came with their separate entrances. I think this is the Macho Man that came with that. I'm not 100% sure, but classic Macho Man nonetheless. Here we've got our Kevin Nash. Again, he's the squeeze the legs, and he comes out and strangles you. But look at this, guys. Painted on elbow pad. So that way the arm can bend, and you can bend your arm the whole way it's supposed to and still have the elbow pad. I flippin' love it. I love it. I wish Mattel would do more of that. They've done that a couple times with figures, but I don't know. I prefer the stuff, like if you want it on the character, paint it on the character. That's my opinion. I'm like, what you did here with Apollo Crews, although, is that Apollo Crews'? Is that his head? I don't recall that. Doesn't look like Apollo Crews' head. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. That doesn't look like Apollo Crews' head, but like they painted the forearm bands. I love that. Let's do that for the elbow pads and everything. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Here's a Seth Rollins untouched. We've seen a lot of this body now. But here he is. This is what the original Seth Rollins looks like, or is supposed to look like. I just bought a ton of these just to get this Man Bud head sculpt, because this was the first figure. I think it was either this one or the Pink Elite that was the first figure to have this new head sculpt for Seth. So I remember picking up a bunch of these and a couple of the pink attires just to get that head sculpt. And there's something on his head there that I'm not a fan of, but I'll have to get that off later. Here we've got a Bray Wyatt. This one actually came with a Surf's Up movie, or Surf's Up 2 or 3 or whatever, whichever one had like all the WWE characters in it. I've never watched the movie. In fact, I don't even know if I have the movie. I may have just thrown it away. I wanted the figure, but I saw it at a Dollar General for $6, and I really wanted the Bray Wyatt because I didn't have this particular Bray Wyatt. So I was like, hey, I'm buying it just to get the figure. So long story short, that's how we've acquired that one. Here's a Finn Balor with one of my favorite knee pads with the Finn. I do love that knee pad a lot. Eventually, I'm going to get that moved over to an Elite. He's also got on the trunks back here, but eventually I'm going to move this knee pad over to an Elite. I don't know if I'm going to try and recreate that figure or not. Here we have, it's not Jake Roberts. It's, Terry Funk is who I'm trying to say here. Might be the only Terry Funk figure that I have. I'm not entirely sure on that. I'm going to have to double check when we get into the Elites. Here we've got a Rhino, just a nice classic Rhino, my first Rhino figure. Here is a Triple H. Also does not talk, but he's one of the talking ones that has the chess piece that when you set them up next to each other, they're in front of each other, they talk to each other. Here is a Sheamus, just a good old Sheamus. Then we move right into Kalisto. This was another one that I really had big expectations and high hopes for. I love luchador wrestling, especially when it was like, it felt so new when it was first like coming into WWE big time. I just had such high expectations. Another Undertaker, another Big E Langston. We already talked about this one in the previous video. I love this logo. Such a cool logo. Wish that thing didn't go away. Still don't know who this is. I don't remember if it was this video or the previous video when we looked at him, but I found a second one. Of course I had a second one. Here's my one and only Finley. Has Mattel... Are they on good terms with Finley? Can they make an Ultimate Edition Finley? I would love an Ultimate Edition Finley. And then, like, as one of your accessories, you get Hornswoggle. Like, that would be tops for me. Absolute tops. Here we've got a Drew McIntyre head on a Miz body with his Miz. This was, I think this is like the era of Miz when he had the B team, I think. Moving right along, we've got a Shelton Benjamin basic, but we've already got the Elite Shelton Benjamin to upgrade and replace that. Here we've got a Daniel Bryan, another fire gear for Daniel Bryan. I don't think, like, Daniel Bryan figures don't miss. These are just, they go hard all the time. Daniel Bryan just had like the best looking gears, and he always stuck with like the same basic color scheme with that maroon, red, white, and black. Here we've got an Enzo Amore, but like his color schemes went so hard, like they were just so good. Here's a Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, again without ponytail. This seemed to be just an error, or a way of the times in the 90s and early 2000s, just ripping the ponytails off of Triple H's. Moving right along, we have one of my favorite color schemed Rey Mysterios. I think the blue and yellow looks really cool. I'm sorry, I said one of my favorite. It's not. Red is my favorite, but this is a really good. I like the dueling blue and yellows on the Rey. It looks really good. Here is the Big Show. This is my very first Big Show figure. And back in the day, he wasn't that big. Compare him to Matt Hardy from like the same toy company. He's not much bigger. So not a very good representation of the Big Show, but a really cool, I love the shirt. The Big Show there, he's got his hand up, throwing the eye off the eye in the Big Show. I forget what that's actually called. But just really cool figure. This was a good bad guy for me to have go out and beat up my other characters and my X-Men and Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. Here's an old school Miz. back when they thought Miz was like blonde. He just looks like he looks like if Blink-182 rejected a band member. This is what they spit out. Here's my very first Matt Hardy figure. This complements the Jeff Hardy, although the Jeff Hardy that I have doesn't have the red shirt. But they have the same pants mold. So I got this because this is the only Matt Hardy that they had to complement my Jeff Hardy. Here is a Mankind, a wonderful, awesome Mankind, who is becoming, like, he's increasingly jumping up on my list. AJ Styles, it doesn't talk, but his head is way too small for this body. Just a terrible look for this AJ, unfortunately. They really head shrunk him on this, so it's just not a very good figure. But he talks, so that at least made up for it back when he did talk. Here's the other Kevin Bourne I have, or Vampiro, I think, is that what he went by? Vampiro. I don't know why I said Kevin Bourne. It's not Kevin, but Evan Bourne is who I was thinking of. That is not who this is. This is Vampiro. Did I say Kevin Bourne both times? Oh my gosh. Here's another Bray Wyatt, one of my early Bray Wyatt figures. Just, you know, the classic Bray. When you think of Bray Wyatt, that's what I think of. Black shirt, white pants. If you guys can guess who this is, I would be very impressed. Do you guys know who this is? Although, does it say it? Oh yeah, it says it's got his initials on the boot, so I can't show you the boot. I'll give you another couple seconds to guess. This is Booker T. Right here's his initials, BT on the side of the boot. This is Harlem Heat Booker T from way back. Who made this one? Let me find out for you. This is a 1999 Toy Biz WCW figure of Booker T. And then finally we have the bunny. This is the one that came with Adam Rose. So guys, we did it. We have finally wrapped up my men's basic figures. It took 2 videos to do, way longer than I thought it would be. We're like over, I don't even know how many figures we are into all this now, but we're finally done with the men's basics. Now we can move on to let's do the Jazzwares. That's not going to be too bad. So next week we're going to get to the Jazzwares figures. That should only be a video, maybe 2, to get through all the Jazzwares AEW figures that I have. Then we can move into the Elites, and that's going to take a while, and then we'll wrap up on the Ultimate Editions. And then, oh jeez, oh man, that should hopefully do it. But guys, like I said, leave a comment to see how many figures you think I have. If someone gets the number exactly right on how many figures I have, then we'll do a giveaway. So let's see how good your brains are. I can't do the math. I'm literally doing it now as I go, but let's see how close you guys are. Leave a comment on this video. If comments come in after this video, then I'm not going to count it, because I don't know if you've gone ahead and watched all the videos and then went back before I finished the last video and then threw in a comment. So it only comments on this video. And then after this video is uploaded, or after the next video prior to this one comes out, that's when the comments will be closed for guesses. So good luck. We've looked at a lot of it. We'll look at everything again. Here's what we've done. Here's what we've done. This is all done. This is done. Now let's look at what we have not done. We have not done any of those. We've got a couple Ultimates in there. We've got all of these Elites over here. This is all Elites in here. We've got the rosters, another tub of Elites, all of those Elites, all the rest of the rosters over here. We've got all the guys on the wall here. These are all Elites and Ultimates we have to cover. And we've got the Jazzwares figures coming up next. So with all that, guys, leave your comments, what you think, what our total number is going to be. If you have the right number, then we will do a giveaway for you. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see you next time, right? Have a good one. See you next time, guys. Bye!